I remember doing a video probably about midway through the season. I think it was titled something like "There's no reason the Milwaukee Bucks can't win it all this year." And I distinctly remember the majority of my comments were something along the lines of, you know, basically, yeah, Milwaukee looks good right now, but they're going to show their true colors. They're going to falter. Milwaukee does this every year, which they don't. You know, I don't, I don't really remember Milwaukee being number one in the Eastern Conference or in the NBA as far as record wise halfway through the season. Okay, but I understand where that's coming from. Milwaukee has been a relatively terrible team over the last 25 years or so. You know what I'm saying? Well, really 30 years. I get that. Um, so when you have shown this consistent pattern of losing, there's no reason to believe that this team can all of a sudden turn a corner and become a powerhouse team. But the thing about Milwaukee is that, in my opinion, Giannis Antetokounmpo has the potential, okay, the potential to be the most significant individual player for the Bucks franchise since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I don't think that's hyperbole. Like I said, potential. I'm not shitting on guys like Sidney Moncrief, you know what I'm saying, or Marcus Johnson, but I think we can recognize that Giannis has the potential to be um, definitely, if everything goes the way that it can with this team, he could definitely become a top 25 all time player when it's all said and done. But that's potential. What he actually accomplishes, we don't know. Okay, Penny Hardaway could have been a top 20 all time player, and we saw what happened to his career. Grant Hill could have been, oh man, a top 15 all time player, in my opinion, but we saw what happened. I still think he's getting in the Hall of Fame because of his collegiate career, but um, the Milwaukee Bucks faced the Detroit Pistons, a team that was undermanned already, you know what I'm saying? And Blake Griffin, right on schedule, is injured as the playoffs come. I mean, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't go there with him, man. I know that, but my fucking God, man, why is it every fucking year Blake Griffin gets injured? It's like playoffs and injury are hand in hand. It's like playoffs and injury are peanut butter and jelly with Blake Griffin, man. Blake Griffin's peanut butter. Injuries is peanut butter. Playoffs is jelly. It's like it happens every fucking year. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's what was so disappointing about Lob City. You know, those Clippers teams. It's like you think, okay, this is the year that the Clippers are going to provide a run worthy of all of the immediate attention they were getting, 6, 7 years ago. And right on schedule, Blake Griffin gets injured in the second game of the playoffs. And then Chris Paul pulls a hamstring in the next game, and then somehow they fucking lose the series. It's just shit like that. But Blake Griffin didn't play today. And it's possibly doubtful that he's going to play in game two. So pretty much, in my opinion, this series is looking like it's going to be a sweep. Milwaukee just looks like vastly, they're vastly superior to the Detroit Pistons. And the problem with Detroit without Blake Griffin is that they really don't have a consistent go-to scorer. Andre Drummond to me is an underrated center, but he's more of a traditional low post center. He does not have a plethora of offensive moves, and he was held in check, if you want to say that, to 12 points and 12 rebounds. And when you don't have Blake Griffin, then you really need somebody else to step up offensively, and they didn't really have that. Talking about the Detroit Pistons, I'm trying to look at the scores right now. Um, the only guy to really get his shot off is Kennard. Luke Kennard had 21 points. He provided some offense, but for the most part, the Detroit Pistons just looked dead in the water, man. You could just see from the beginning of the game that the Milwaukee Bucks they were just going to pretty much, you know, pretty much just assert their will on this Detroit Pistons team. And it was a blowout already through the first quarter. In the first quarter, they were up by 20 points with that 3-point bucket. You know what I'm saying? That 3-point bucket, I think damn near at the buzzer. I think they're up, what was it, 38-18 after the first quarter. And then at halftime, they're up by 20-something points. And they just coasted generally to a blowout victory, man. They won by 35 points, final score of 121-86. At one point, they were up by 40-something points. Giannis Antetokounmpo, in I think 23 minutes of play, had 24 points, 17 rebounds, 4 assists. Brook Lopez had 14 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Chris Middleton had 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Eric Bledsoe had 15 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. What is this? George Hill had 16 points. And Pat Connaughton, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I think he had 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. And Sterling Brown, I think, had 11 points. I think it was 11. Let me see. Yeah, 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists. I mean, just balanced scoring overall, man. And their offense just looks so much more precise, so much crisper than the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons essentially just could not buy a bucket, man. They had some good looks, but they just couldn't really consistently get anything going offensively. Um, that bitch ass motherfucker Zaza Pachulia, I hate his fucking guts, man. I'm glad that he's been relegated to Bumsville, man. You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up, man, how he was a dirty ass player with the Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? And he ended Kawhi Leonard's season that way, man. I hate that dude, man. I really do. I think he was a dirty player, man. I remember he cheap shot at Russell Westbrook. Can't stand that motherfucker, man. But Milwaukee just this is the most lopsided matchup to me in the playoffs, man. I know Golden State and the Clippers matchup is kind of lopsided, but at least the Clippers do have some guys who can score. You know what I'm saying? It's just that they're going against the Warriors. You know, if the Los Angeles Clippers were going up against a more inferior team, you know what I'm saying, then maybe the series would be closer. But they're going up against the fucking Warriors. The fucking Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's pretty much it, man. um, the Milwaukee Bucks did what they were supposed to do. Um, the only thing I have to say about Milwaukee is they have to build that respect factor. See, people can see what they're capable of doing, but they have to uh, go the distance and show what they can do. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of expectations in Milwaukee for this team. And I think that this is a team that can make a run for it. I'm not saying they're going to win the NBA championship. If they did, that would put Giannis on an entirely different stratosphere, and that could help to make it his league. But I definitely think this team is going to at least make the NBA Finals. If they don't win it this year, then I definitely think that the Milwaukee Bucks can win a championship eventually. Definitely. But you got to remember, Back in 1990, people doubted Michael Jordan a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They thought he was a great player, but they always would say, look, a scoring champion can't win championships. He's too selfish. He shoots the ball too much. Yada, yada, yada. You know, people said Julius Erving, look, yeah, he was great in the ABA, but he'll never win a championship in the NBA. He's just, Bird and Magic, those guys are just better than him. You know what I'm saying? Dr. J's a great player, but, you know, just can't get it done in the NBA. So you got to crush the haters, man. You got to crush the naysayers. And all of them are haters. So that's what the Milwaukee Bucks have to do, in my opinion, man. They just got to not listen to the noise out there and just play their game, man. And they'll be fine. But tell me what you guys think.